This is the Jose Soto Show. So, how do you feel about this whole Chick-Fil-A National Appreciation Day? And as I look at the news today, I am puzzled by the fact that not that many gay people or the activists are pushing for a boycott are looking at what's going on right now. I understand that in the future we may have something else going, right? I mean, the future doesn't look really good for Chick-fil-A, to be honest with you. Sure, I understand that. But the problem is that yesterday Chick-fil-A had pretty much broken its own world record in sales of chicken sandwiches and fried shit, and basically people stuffing their fat faces with all that crap and clogging up their arteries. Why not? I mean, that's basically what you're doing. And I laugh at this. I am laughing at this because you have people who are saying, no, I'm stuffing my fat face with this crap. I'm going to clog up my arteries. And you know, I've got an email from many haters. I wouldn't call them haters, but I just misguided trolls who believe that by eating at Chick-fil-A, they told me that they were going to eat there every day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Are they open for breakfast? I think they are. I thought it was only lunch and dinner. Oh, anyway, but they were going to go there every day for lunch, dinner, and breakfast, and what have you. And I kind of think to myself, and I said, you know, why are you doing this to yourself? I mean, why are you stuffing your body with all this unhealthy shit? I mean, I wouldn't even do that for gay marriage myself. I mean, if Chick-fil-A were to come out for gay marriage and every gay activist out there says, Jose, you gotta support Chick-fil-A, you gotta eat their fat fried shit, I would say, no, thank you, fuck off. I mean, I wouldn't even do that for a gay marriage, and I'm a supporter of gay marriage. I donated thousands of dollars to the cause, but I will not sacrifice my body for it. Sorry, it's not worth it. And that got me thinking because my mother today gave me this Spanish magazine, and it talked about health, mostly centered around the heart, and how you need to keep in shape, you need to eat healthy. It says here that one of the main causes of death in America is, of course, related to obesity and heart disease. And you might be saying, well, Jose, what does that have to do with the whole gay thing? Well, it has to do with the part that you're making me laugh, okay? That's what it has to do with. I mean, you're making me laugh. All of you look like a bunch of idiots, bunch of bozos and doofuses and bunch of apes who don't know what the hell you're doing. I mean, if you think some of these gay activists are pushing for this boycott look silly, you look even more pathetic. And then I saw this other video with this gay patriot guy, this gay conservative at the conservative blog. What is it? Gay patriot? Yeah, I've been there before. It's just a weird place, to be honest with you. And there are gay people there that hate other gays. I mean, you just read some of the comments that they write. They think that every gay person is a liberal. How do you... Wait a minute. First of all, I was the one who said, don't eat at Chick-fil-A because they contribute money to all these anti-gay causes, these anti-gay groups who want us in prison. That's what I said. But because I don't support Chick-fil-A, I'm automatically a liberal to these guys. I mean, well, how pathetic, childish can you be? God, it's fucking annoying that you have to deal with those kinds of people. Anyway, but you might be asking, Jose, well, what does heart disease have to do with this? Well, I mean, the whole thing is funny for me. The whole thing is fucking hilarious. It's annoying, but it's hilarious because You're sacrificing your body. I mean, these are not just two guys emailing me this shit saying that they're gonna eat at Chick-Fil-A every day. I have people. I have seen these commercials or ads placed by people. Have you seen these ads? Here it is. Well, here's one, and let me see here. Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's in my local paper, and somebody placed an ad for Chick-Fil-A. They said, please go out and support traditional blah blah blah. Support free speech. You support free speech. You know how? By letting people say what they want to say, including to people who want to boycott Chick-fil-A. I don't agree with that. I want to back away from that. But you don't see me crying. You don't see me, hey, that. I'm just saying it's a bad idea. Should back out from it. But they have a right to express that idea. What's wrong with that? I mean, if you really are for free speech, you should let gay people react. Or is only free speech allowed by Dan Cathy? Dan Cathy, who's a privileged billionaire, he's the only one that's allowed to express himself? Is that what it is now in America? So that's that ad. So they're encouraging people to eat fried food, stuff their faces with it, clog up their arteries, all in the name of what? All to piss us off? To make us feel bad? Oh, you want us to crawl back into our closets? I mean, if you really read some of this shit that people are saying about Chick-fil-A and what they're saying about gay people, you would be astonished. You think that this is all just about free expression. This is all about just a guy who owns a chicken joint who wants to express his values. Oh, you're wrong. It's not about that. Most of it, well, actually, 99% of the time is behavior and actions that prompt gay people to say something about this. Just like that baker who refused to bake a wedding cake for a gay couple. How does that hurt you? How does that make you less of a Christian? You are in business to bake cakes, so bake a damn cake. You're not in business to pick and choose. You get that? Like, I'm starting this media business, and I bet that a lot of conservatives listen to my show. Should I be pissed off because they listen to my show? No. I'm glad they're listening to my show. That's okay. I don't really care. I don't discriminate. I'm not saying, oh, don't follow me on Twitter. You're a businessman. You should focus on your business. If you want to alienate a certain segment of society from your business, then that's on you. That's you. But you see, that's the reason why a lot of these, airheads and conservatives, so-called conservatives, want to, use Chick-fil-A and attack the gay community using Chick-fil-A as a proxy. Because they know, Captain Chick-fil-A, a.k.a. Mike Huckabee, he knows that later on this business is going to suffer. Not right now. That's why I don't want a boycott. Because if you're going to have a boycott, and I keep saying this, I'm sorry I have to keep repeating myself. If you want a boycott, you're going to have to show results. And right now we can't do that. It's not possible right now. But later on, yeah. Later on, this is recorded in history. People will look back. Some of them will shake their heads and say, what the fuck I'm doing? What the fuck was I doing? Stuffing my face with all that shit. And now look at me. I'm 400 pounds overweight. Right? And you have Captain Chick-fil-A, Mike Huckabee, telling people to stuff their faces with this shit so they can die of diabetes. Right? You're willing to sacrifice your health. And people are telling me, yeah, I'm going to eat a Chick-fil-A every day now. Okay, fine. Do it. Just don't call me if you want some Lipitor. Because then you're going to have to call Medicaid, right? Because later on, you're going to be broke. You're going to be broke if you don't put your head in the right place and actually have your priorities straight. I mean, this country is facing economic disaster. And for many of us, it's going to be genocide. Let me just say that. But for you, you don't care. Your only business is to get at the gays. All right. You're just like the other side. You're just like these liberals who are using gay people and Chick-Fil-A to get at the conservatives. So everybody's pissed off at each other. Everybody's fighting each other. And of course, who wins in the end? Not you, because you're going to have, diabetes, cholesterol, high blood pressure, and now you're going to need a new heart transplant. But who wins in the end is, of course, Dan Cathy. He's the one that's going to win. Wake up, you stupid morons. Wake the fuck up. When are we going to start to think rationally and logically here? And of course, you have some anti-gay guys saying, gay people are emotionally hijacking people. They use emotional hijacking. I don't know, something in that line. And I'm like, but conservatives are emotional too. I mean, this whole thing about going out there spending $12 on a meal to support another man who you don't know anything about. All I know is what he did and what he donated money to, right? And some other shit I'm gonna talk about later on. When we get back from the break, I want to talk about that, and I just want to make a note of that here before I forget, because I'm being forgetful lately. So people ask me, how do you feel about this? And I just don't care. I don't care what Coca-Cola says or what the president of whoever, IBM, or what they say. What I do care is when you send money, like you're a fucking Santa Claus, and you send money to people who want to use that money to imprison gay people, ship it to Africa, so you can encourage people there to pass laws to execute gay people. That's when I kind of draw the line, and I say, that has to be exposed. And we don't expose it just to have a boycott. We expose it so people can learn. This is a learning experience. And also, for those of you who are in Business 101, this is something that you can learn from. I mean, if you're in it for the buck, you're in it for the buck. Why are you in it for anything else? I know you want to produce good quality food or a good quality product or service. And you might have a mission. But if you want to sell religion, then just become a pastor. Become a church. Why sell chicken sandwiches? What does that have to do with being Christian? Let me ask you this. What if Dan Cathy was not Dan Cathy? What if he was Muhammad Dan, I don't know. What if his name was Muhammad? Oh, that would be different, wouldn't it? And it's not that I support Islam. I don't. Believe me, I don't. It's totally fascist ideology right there. Islam is totally the nakedness of what some Christians want to be like, basically. Because Islam is a copy of Christianity, basically. So what if his name was Muhammad? Oh no, fuck that. Nobody will give a shit. But it happens to be Dan Cathy, a rich billionaire, and a rich fat cat, right? And we're supposed to support him because, we don't want him to lose any more money, right? I mean, we want to support Dan Cathy. And they're saying, you have Sarah Palin coming out saying, this is all to crucify Dan Cathy. The fuck you're talking about, you dumb bimbo? Crucify who? Oh, of course, you Christians love torture and crucifixion. You worship that. Why do you do that? I don't care how Jesus died. All I care about is what he did or what he said. Some of the things are actually more applicable today, yes, but I haven't seen yet a public figure Christian a public figure who is a Christian to actually apply the true Christian philosophy. Nobody has. Dan Cathy is far from it. I mean, he has become a money changer. He has turned God's temple into, a money changer, and a business. That's what it is. But you have her coming out saying, "Oh, it's crucifixion. They're gonna crucify him." Ah! Oh, they'll love that. The Christians will love that. They'll salivate. They'll go, "Yes, we love to see crucifixions. We love people when they suffer." That's why you have Mother Teresa going to Calcutta, not to help the poor, but to see them die, because they worship. They have a fetish on death and destruction. They have a worship on torture. That's why Bush started torture. And you have, of course, today another supposed Christian, and his name is Barack Obama, who is also still torturing people. Okay? But there's a lot more about Dan Cathy, and I want to talk about that when we come back. But it's just so funny that you supporters of Chick-Fil-A don't understand how stupid you look. But yeah, you succeeded. No, not you. Dan Cathy did. You made them money. And with the helping, of course, of these gay activists who are pushing this boycott, obviously. But thanks to all of you, Dan Cathy is laughing all the way to the bank. We'll be right back after this short break. Oh, they're all about love, right? We're not against anybody. We're not anti-anybody. We're just here to eat fried chicken sandwiches. And I seen a picture of these sandwiches. Believe me, I mean, even the fucking picture looks greasy. I mean, when I held the photo, I was like, is this what they're eating? And when I grabbed the photo in my hand, I felt the photo was greasy itself. I mean, it's full of grease. So what do you conservatives think you want to accomplish? I mean, today you made lots of money for this Dan Cathy character. So you have a lot to be proud of yourself, I guess. I mean, what did you accomplish? The fact that you got one over the gays? Is that why? I mean, I thought you didn't need to do that. I mean, here's the thing, for me at least, and it just hit me right now, that supposedly Brian Brown and all these anti-gay characters, they tout how they win always at the ballot box, 30 states, whatever, they win in every state regarding gay marriage. So why, if you have all the votes on your side, supposedly, well, we'll see this election year, but you have all the votes, supposedly. You have all the wins. You have all the titles. I mean, it's like, I mean, these people view this as a fucking wrestling match, and it is, to some extent. It is a WWE kind of event. You know, you have all these fake wrestlers coming out with rehearsed lines and rehearsed moves, and then they pretend that they're hurt, and they have all this drama, fake drama, obviously, and then they fake beat each other up. Yeah, that's what it is. It's all a bunch of theater. But in the end, you still have, of course, the economic rights that gay people should get. I mean, that we all deserve. That's a problem. That we have serious issues to talk about, but yet we're being bombarded by all this theatrical drama. This distraction that we call Chick-Fil-A. Think about that. But I really hate it when they say that we're going, that just because some people are saying we should boycott, I'm not saying that. Like I said, I'm against the boycott. But if people are saying, let's have a boycott against Chick-fil-A, what's wrong with that? I mean, I know what's wrong with it. It's not going to happen. It's not going to work. But just saying it or thinking about it or posing that idea shouldn't be offensive in of itself, because, well, They're the ones who are boycotting Procter and Gamble. I think that's still going on, right? Procter and Gamble, they're boycotting Starbucks, they're boycotting General Mills, they're boycotting Amazon, they're boycotting Microsoft, they're boycotting Google. I mean, I don't know. So are you saying that those who support gay marriage shouldn't have a right to express that opinion? And yet, of course, we have people and mayors in certain cities that want to ban Chick-fil-A, right? And I understand why that's not a good idea. I don't support that at all. I don't think so. I think Chick-fil-A should go down on its own, like the Titanic. Let's not shoot it down. Let it die on its own. But, you know, they call us fascists. They call us all this. Alex Jones, that degenerate ape, came out and he said, oh yes, they're all fascists because they are against Chick-fil-A. But then, who's doing the banning here? I mean, has any Chick-fil-A actually been banned from a city? No. Because I'm pretty sure that the SLU, which came out in a statement, and they said you can't do that. You cannot ban Chick-fil-A's from a city because of what the president said and a personal opinion. To some extent, that is true. There are certain variances in which, of course, a city might be able to ban a company like that. But even with those variances, I wouldn't go ahead with that. I wouldn't do it. But who's the one banning anything anyway? Who's the one that doesn't want free expression is, of course, those who are supporting Chick-fil-A. They don't want free expression. They're the ones who want to ban gay marriage. They're the ones, I mean, Dan Cathy wants to ban gay marriage. That's where his money, most of it goes to. He wants to ban it. He wants to get it out of here. I mean, erase it from existence. That's what he wants. So, because we don't want people to have their free expression rights to be jeopardized by this company with their gift giving, then we're the bad guys, right? And they're telling us we're the fascists, that we don't want to allow them the free expression. Yeah, they're the ones who are banning gay marriage legally. So tell me, where have gay people ever tried to ban anything that they want to do? That's why whenever certain gay activists come out and say, and they're liberal, obviously, they're the left kind, and they come out and they say, we should ban salt, we should ban sodas, we should ban... I mean, look. Already we have enough problem with trying to ban gay marriage. If people want to eat Chick-fil-A fried shit, let them eat it and let them die. Because that's basically suicide, if you ask me. You want to die of coronary disease? Be my guest. It's not fun. And I hope one day we do have the technology to hopefully, cure that disease, cure heart disease. And we are close to that. Oh no, that's socialized medicine. Yeah, it is. So, I don't know why people are being so suicidal like this. I don't know. I mean, what's the purpose? You go to Chick-fil-A and then you order all this shit. Now, I just got this right now. This is from one of my editors from thegayreport.net, my fellow colleague, and he told me that, okay, here it is, yes. Oh, they're planning on a Starbucks Appreciation Day. Can you, let me see. I can't find it here. Let's see. Alright, I'm just gonna have Daniel, can you go ahead and print me the article? Or just email it to me? Thanks. Okay, yeah, because that would be interesting. And believe me, I haven't been to a Starbucks in over 3 years. I haven't been to a Starbucks. And if they have this National Appreciation Day for Starbucks, I'm not going to go personally. I mean, if you want to go, that's your deal. I'm not going to go. I just don't like Starbucks. I don't like how they operate. Sure, I appreciate the fact that they support gay marriage and all that stuff. And remember, they only support it in Washington State. It's not like they want it national. Okay? So, while you're doing that, I'm going to write that down. Okay? Now, I just received an email from a character who's a Chick-Fil-A supporter, and he's very angry at me that I am talking about Chick-Fil-A. Well, what else is there to talk? I mean, look, I have a stack of news that I want to talk about for the last 2 weeks, and I haven't been able to get to that because of all this Chick-Fil-A stuff. And I get emails all the time, comments about what do I think about Chick-Fil-A. And that's what I think about. Okay, I've already said it many times. I don't want to repeat myself. And then this guy was really brutal. I mean, he laid it out to me. I mean, he's a Chick-fil-A supporter, and he wants me to die of AIDS. I'm a cocksucker, blah, blah, blah. Ooh, tell me something I don't know. Anyway, but I posted that email. I'm not going to repeat it here word by word because it's pretty gruesome. And I don't want to offend anybody, more than I've already offended on this show. So if you want to go ahead and read that, it's on my blog, therealjosesoto.blogspot.com. You can go ahead and read that. Anyway, I got another email from this source who knows Dan Cathy. That's what he says. And I'm just trying to, check, do my check on this guy. But he says that you have to look deeper into Dan Cathy, his father, Truett Cathy. Supposedly, the father was involved in many of these Boy Scout kind of things, these boy clubs. Like we have the Boys and Girls Club, but this is more like boys. So the father, Truett Cathy, the founder of Chick-fil-A, he was basically, what this guy's telling me is that he's involved in pedophilia, and that he has molested a lot of kids and boys, and that's why he had all those charities, and he had all those Christian boy clubs, something like that. I don't know what it is, but I kind of skimmed through it. I talked to the guy on Skype. I don't know, he seems kind of convincing, but still, I want him to, go public, and he says that he was molested by Truett Cathy. And he says that the Cathy family is filled with pedophilia. Yes, they are religiously based. They are heavily religious. More like a cult than, I would say, a religious family. So that's what he's talking about. Anyway. But he's saying that he's a pedophile, and that's why Dan Cathy is saying this kind of stuff, because he thinks that Dan Cathy was molested by his father. I don't know. I can't verify that. I need evidence. I just can't. But I don't know. Sounds like a good theory to me. I mean, if you look at Dan Cathy, look at how he looks like. I mean, look how he stands. He's a kind of ultra boy, just like Frothy Santorum. These ultra boys are always the ones that spew this shit. You look in their eyes. It looks like a man that has been through a lot of shit. You look at a man that's not really that happy. All right, and I seen Dan Cathy being interviewed by these local newscasters, and you see this guy just totally just out of whack. And yeah, to me, he looks like he's been, cornholed by his dad. That wouldn't be shocking. That would not be shocking to me, because obviously, why would somebody have so much to say about gay people and calling us immoral and depraved. If you look at the recent video that we talked about, I mean, I'll play that when we come back again. I'm going to play it again just for you guys. Again, but pedophilia, yeah, I've seen this many times before. And usually, where there's pedophilia, there's usually homophobia. It's somehow, for some reason, interconnected. And there are many factors why that is. I mean, look at the Catholic Church, filled with pedophiles. If you look at the Boy Scouts, filled with pedophiles. Filled with pedophiles there. And what happened to Penn State? Who's a huge Penn State supporter is Frothy Santorum, who gave Sandusky an award and protected him from the cops. I don't know what's going on. But I don't know. Well, we'll be right back after this short break. You're listening to the Jose Soto Show. This is Jose Soto. Stay tuned for more intellectual nudity.
Washington trying to redefine the definition of marriage and all the other kinds of things that we go on. If you go upstream from that, in Romans chapter 1, you'll see that because we have not acknowledged God and because we have not thanked God, that we've been left victim to the foolishness of our own thoughts. And as a result, we are suffering the consequences of a society and culture who has not acknowledged God or not thanked God, and he's left us to a deprived mind. It's tragic, and we live in a culture of that today. So we...
Well, that's Dan Cathy again, and I mean, if you look at his speech, look at what he, the way he stands and everything, the way that he talks too is like he's being butt fucked. I can tell when somebody's been molested, and he looks like somebody that's been molested, probably by his dad. Yeah, by his dad, obviously. And this is his way to get back. If he was molested by his dad, obviously a lot of homophobes. I will say that a majority of homophobes in this country, real homophobes, probably were molested by either their fathers, their uncles, molested as a young kid. I'm not talking about when they were, 14 or 15 years old, fooling around, whatever. Even that, I think that's still bad. But when a child, a boy, 6 or 7 or 8 years old, and they are raped by a man, they have that in their psyche still. And it fucks them up as they grow up because now they have this aggression against men. And anything sexual that deals with another man. So that's how you can become a homophobe. And then the other ways too that you can become a homophobe. Especially, because when you are molested, basically you are disempowered, right? Because when a child molester rapes a boy, it's all about power. It's all about retaining power. And when that kid grows up, he wants to regain that power over others. So obviously he's going to look at the gays and say, because they are in, quote, deprived, deviant sexual behavior, then obviously I'm going to go against them. That's the motto. But I see many of my friends who were molested, and they tend to be a little homophobic. I stay away from them. I'm sorry. I just can't deal with your issues. This guy, Dan Cathy, has issues. And he was given this empire we call Chick-Fil-A. He didn't build this empire. He's maintaining it. And he has a lot of, people working for him that are helping him maintain this. I bet if he does it all himself, he's gonna fail. Because he inherited all this from daddy. Okay, he didn't build any of this. Okay? And what I've heard is, and what I know from this person, and I'm trying to confirm this with other people. In fact, I'm gonna call my friend Neri, she is a psychologist, and she deals with specifically with this kind of stuff. She deals with child molesters and people who have been molested, the victims, because she tells me all the time that people who were molested tend to be aggressive, have sexual dysfunctions, anxiety, depression, and all that. But that's one part of it. Then they take their aggression on something else. They either become sadist, they either become, very cruel to animals, right? And when they see a gay guy who, of course, gay guys are seen as vulnerable, effeminate, disempowering. So they are going to try to either, rape them or emotionally, sociologically rape them by being anti-gay. I mean, that's how it is. But I wouldn't be surprised if this is the case with Dan Cathy. Anyway. Oh, here it is, right? Okay, this is the article I want to talk about. Okay. Yeah, here's a news article about these activists who are planning to have a National Starbucks Appreciation Day. All right. And when is that? That's on August 7th. And I think there is a Facebook page for that. Yes, there's a Facebook event. Alright, and it says here Equally Wed, which is a pro-gay marriage, I think, organization. Co-founder and editor-in-chief Kristen Ott Palladino is ready to strike back against the right-wing successful, and that's the word there, key word, successful. They were very successful yesterday, right? And how do we count? I mean, I thought there was a boycott, but, a counter boycott like that really sends a message to gay people that, hey, I don't think this boycott is a good idea. Sending the message, bringing out and exposing the truth about this company is one thing. And I appreciate that, and I think that's something that we all need to know. But trying to boycott them is a whole different story. And is asking LGBT people and allies to show their support for Starbucks on August 7th as part of a National Starbucks Appreciation Day. And that's going to do what exactly? I don't know. If Starbucks sells more than Chick-Fil-A ever did, well, yeah, there's more Starbucks than Chick-Fil-A in this country, so if you can pull this off, yeah, you might seem successful. Just like these people seem successful too, because you had the usuals who were going to go on Wednesday anyway to have Chick-fil-A. And then you add on top of that the Mike Huckabees, the Sarah Palins, the Rick Santorums, and all these other, stupid airheads. All right. So that's going to be on August 7th. Based in Atlanta, where Chick-fil-A is also based, Equally Wed is a national online magazine dedicated to celebrating marriage equality. In a statement, Ott Palladino expressed frustration with people supporting Chick-fil-A on August 1st. No shit. At the bequest of right-wing radio host and former GOP presidential candidate Mike Huckabee, Captain Chick-fil-A, as I call him, the fast food chain recorded record-setting sales on Wednesday, and that's that part. So, what do you wish to accomplish? I don't know. I mean, if this is not going to end. I mean, I pretty much am not happy about that. That this is going to be like an ongoing thing. Instead of just laying out the facts, there it is. All we need to do is, boom, lay out the facts. Dan Cathy can say it's about same-sex marriage. He can say, oh, I'm being crucified or whatever. It's Romans 1 or whatever the hell he wants to regurgitate. It's not going to basically erase those facts. And we have to stick to the facts. We don't want to boycott. We don't want to, get that stupid gay conservative guy, Bruce Campbell. What is his name? That guy from Gay Patriot to go film himself laughing at gay people. I mean, that's just pathetic. right? I mean, you have clowns, and then you have bozos, and then you have apes, and then people that will do anything for a fucking banana, for a fucking stupid laugh. I mean, what do you accomplish with all this? I mean, what? Yeah, and then you have that lesbian dressed up as a cow. Did you hear about that? I mean, somebody from the Gay Report wanted to add that, one of the editors. And yeah, and I told Daniel not to add that because it's not news. A lesbian wearing a cow suit is not news. Okay? God. You see, for every reaction, there's a stupid reaction. And for every stupid reaction, there's even a stupider reaction. And for every stupider reaction, you can go on and on and on. I'm telling you, there's something in the water. There's something in the water that's making people really act really stupid and childish. Now, what I think about the Starbucks thing, well, I don't know. You have to look at this the same way that you look at the Chick-Fil-A. You have to look at Chick-Fil-A and say, what was the accomplishment there? Accomplishment was they made record sales, they had lots of money, and now they're shipping it off to Dan Cathy's wallet. That's what's happening. Dan Cathy is smiling, laughing all the way to the bank. No matter how pathetic he is, or dysfunctional, or depraved that he is, which I think that's what he is. He's a sexually depraved man. If he's laughing all the way to the bank, I think that nobody won. He won. Now, let's go to Starbucks, right? And we can buy some couple of lattes and macchiatos and whatever the hell they sell there. It's not just coffee. They sell all their crap as well, loaded with calories, loaded with sugar, right? That also brings up your diabetes, right? It can make you fat as well. Oh, Jose, I'll just buy some coffee, no sugar. Okay, fine, do whatever you want. The thing is that if you're gonna appreciate Starbucks, I want to see something come out of that. It's not just the fact that you made money for Starbucks, but like maybe take over the news. Like we had Starbucks Appreciation Day, and Starbucks made lots of money as well. Now, will that money end up in the right hands? No. Has Starbucks donated money? I don't think they have. To the gay cause, to the gay marriage cause. Maybe they should, if they haven't. Because if you're gonna have this Appreciation Day, what's the point? And I think you want to say the point is that we can beat them at their own game. Okay, well now we're just playing games here. We're not focused on the real issues anymore. We're not trying, Let me just remind you, we're in an election year. We have 4 elections that we have to look at. Remember? Or do you all forgot about that? And I was going to talk about these polls that were released today, poll numbers. Why don't we just go ahead and talk about that, right? Can we talk about that? Are we done with Chick-fil-A? Is there anything else I need to talk about Chick-fil-A? All right. I guess that's all I really want to say. And you have Villaraigosa jumping in, saying love and liberty will triumph. And there's a popular California gay DJ that held a kiss-in at the Chick-fil-A in Hollywood. Now, there's a Chick-fil-A. Is it in West Hollywood or is it in Hollywood? That's interesting. If you have a Chick-fil-A in West Hollywood, I mean, how is that possible with all this going on? Yeah, why don't they open up one in Castro? That's correct. They should open one in Castro Street up in San Francisco. See how that will hold up. My idea has been very simple, but yet expensive, obviously. Why don't we open up our own chicken chain, have healthy meals, right? Cheap, healthy meals. We can do that, right? Tasty as well. They're going to be tasty. Obviously, nobody's going to eat them. But, fresh food, fresh chicken, and nothing frozen like they do, nothing hugely deep fried. We're gonna, have all these chicken sandwiches. I mean, you can deep fry stuff, and it won't increase the cholesterol or the fat if you know how to deep fry. But some of the stuff that they get in Chick-fil-A is already fried, and then they refry it again. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So they refry it, but if you fry something at a proper temperature, probably you won't get any increased fat. But if you have really good chicken sandwiches, why don't we open up our own chain? Like, what happened to that Hamburger Marys? Are they still in existence? I read an article here somewhere about that. Hamburger Marys is donating money to the gay cause. Well, hello, they are a gay company, and yet I haven't seen them in the news lately. They've just been silent on this. Well, why don't we do that? Why don't we open up like a hamburger chicken, like a Chicken Marys or something like that, and sell chicken and counter Chick-fil-A. Let's see who could make let's see who makes the most money. And with our little company, we can use that money for all those causes that we want. Like for the LGBT, homeless youth. That's a huge problem. And then we can also donate some money for HIV and AIDS cure. And how about securing those economic rights? Like marriage and all that. Yeah, I mean that's going to be a good thing. That's a proactive way to really get back at these guys, because not only can we sell better chicken and tastier chicken, not only that, but we can actually donate some of the money, a lot more money than we could be a non-profit company, can we? A non-profit thing? Probably we could. Somebody has to set that up. That's the best idea I had this whole day, and it just came to me a few hours ago. But that's what I want to do. That's what I would like to appreciate. Not Starbucks, not anything else. Just, why don't we get people, put our money together, open up a chicken chain, and say, oh, two can play this game. But it's more than just a game, because we're actually going to contribute something and make a difference, rather than to depend on their companies like Starbucks, or depend on all these other freaks. So that will be a better way, I think. So, pen it out, man. We have Chris Hughes, who is the founder of Facebook. Oh, I know Facebook's not doing that good lately, right? But still, he's loaded. Why not have him open up a chicken chain? Anyway, whatever. We'll take a short break, and we'll be right back with the short messages. I'm Jose Soto. We'll be right back. Well, not all news is bad news, and I know some of you, when you heard that Chick-fil-A had record sales, all of you were pissed off and depressed. And I got some few emails about that too. Now here's, I don't really think that what happened yesterday was a failure, because I don't consider it as a battle. I was not involved in that battle. I was not involved in boycotting Chick-fil-A. I don't really care about boycotting them or not. Well, I'm saying it's a bad idea, because look what happened. Yesterday, they had record sales, and now we are the losers, basically. This whole thing really made us look bad. But I have some good news here. Why don't we just move away from this? I don't consider this good news, bad news. The whole thing was really bad, okay? Because we gave Chick-fil-A publicity, we gave them more customers, and that really was something that really just, sunk into me. That what I wanted to do was just to make people aware of Chick-fil-A, that's all. And of course, obviously, it just went this way. With boycotting Chick-fil-A because the head of the company is against gay marriage, and that wasn't even it. That wasn't even why I got into this. But this whole thing has been twisted and it's been changing, and it just, I don't like it. Anyway, here's another bit of good news. Hennepin County Court rules same-sex partner can inherit assets. Ooh. hello, I mean, you live together for a long time. Yeah, I mean, you should be able to inherit his shit whenever he passes away. Minnesota's Defense of Marriage Act does not deny the right of same-sex partners to inherit each other's assets. According to a groundbreaking ruling on Wednesday, the Hennepin County District Court's referee's ruling means that James Morrison of Minneapolis is entitled to about $250,000 in assets he once shared with Thomas Prohl, his partner of 25 years. It's the first ruling to establish that the act known as DOMA does not deny same-sex couples the benefits of marriage, including the right to inherit. It could prove influential in other issues involving same-sex couples, including spousal privilege, legal and economic benefits. It's not precedent-setting because it's a district court decision, but it could have an effect nationally as other courts examine the limits of their DOMA laws, said Morrison attorney David Potter. Now, that's a problem too. See, because you're saying, all we're doing is defining marriage. We're not denying anybody's rights. Well, that's what you're doing. Marriage in of itself, legally defined by the courts, and the courts represent the banks. You have to know that. And do your own research. What kind of laws we are under? We are under maritime admiralty laws of the court. And these are canon law established by the Vatican. If you do your research and your homework, you'll find out about that as well. And maritime admiralty law is simply the law of the sea. That's why when we call money, what do we call money these days? I mean, well, legally speaking, what do you call money? It's not money, or monies, or moolah, or the green, right? What do we call that? Liquid assets. That's the legal term. Liquid assets? What do you mean? Money is not made of water. No, but it functions like water. That's why you have a bank, or the sea bank, or the bank of the river. I mean, these terms mean something, and you should look at this. I mean, it's really interesting. And the courts have always defined what marriage is and what its functions are as a business, as a corporation. And remember, the courts recognize you, civil courts recognize each person as a corporation. That's why each person has a social security number. It's not for your retirement at all. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with you being a corporation. That's why when you get credit, they ask you for your social security number, even though social security number is not meant for credit. It's meant for your retirement. But now we use it for everything, to identify your economic status. That's what we use it for. And so the banks establish credit using your social security number. And they, if you look at your social security card, you'll find that some of the numbers can match dollar bill. The dollar bill has a set of numbers as well, a serial number, and sometimes it will match if you look at that. Because your social security is being publicly traded in the New York Stock Exchange. People didn't know that, but you should know that. Now, as I present this background to you, you should know that the government and the court basically controls the government. The court views you under maritime admiralty law as a corporation. When you marry somebody, you don't fall in love and marry and exchange rings and vows and live forever, happily ever after kind of thing. No, that's not what's going on. Under the court, you sign legal documents and you sign for a marriage license. And when you sign for a marriage license, now this is where it gets complicated, because now your economic rights as a couple are not defined as economic rights, like you have a right to inherit your partner's belongings and estate or liquid assets. But what they're saying is that we are going to treat you as a corporation. You know, that's all mudded in. Because when you go to get the assets out, where they go? To probate court. To go to the court. And the clerk of the court is the one that marries you. The clerks marry you, legally speaking. Even if you go to a priest or, all this bullshit that marriage is about religion, it's not. It's not anymore. It used to be, but not anymore, because the clerks have to sign every marriage license as that is contracted within their jurisdictions. And when we get the word marriage from, or actually vice versa, the word merger is from the word marriage. So when you marry somebody, you are creating a corporate merger. And the assets that you create come together in unison. And when you separate, you have a dissolution. And that's the proper term. Not divorce. That's just the slang. So, that's that. And of course, the courts have always defined marriage. They always changed it all the time, because the courts are the ones who deal with the marriage thing. They're the ones who create the economic rights. And these rights, these economic rights, really affect people. I mean, $250,000 is a lot of moolah, right? But also you have to pay taxes, because I bet you it's not covered as tax-free. You have to pay Uncle Sam because you're gay. Just plain and simple. But if people were to understand what marriage is really, marriage is a business. It's all business. Now, the problem with that is that it involves a lot of our life belongings in that business. Right? Everything that we built are if you own your own small business or your corporation or a company, or you own stuff, you own a car, you own a house, you own a computer, you own a stereo system, even a television set. Everything is pretty much touched by marriage, by these marriage, I don't know what you call them, regulations, laws, by maritime admiralty law, which is the basis of the marriage laws today. Everything has a value to it. So when you separate, either one partner who separates can buy the other one out with their if they want certain objects or certain belongings. So I mean, if you look at it that way, you'll find, if you're anti-gay marriage, you'll find that what you're fighting for is not really to protect the sanctity of marriage, but you're just fighting for the courts not to do what it usually does. And that's why we always want to be a part of that, because the courts, that's where we go to even things out, all things being equal. And if we say it that way, then it shouldn't take a rocket scientist to know that gay marriage makes logical sense in that way. So, anyway, that's it for that, from Minnesota. Here's another article here from the Times. A new poll of Maryland voters who will get to decide in November whether to overrule recently signed legislation establishing same-sex marriage in the state shows that 54% favor the law while 40% oppose it. Now that's shattering news, because wasn't it that long ago it was only 49% approve of it, something like that. Now it's up in the majority. As soon as we get to 55%, then we're talking business here. And is freedom to marry still not wanting to be in Maryland? Is that the case? Oh, but we're willing to boycott Chick-Fil-A and look like a bunch of losers doing that, right? But fuck real business. Fuck Maryland. See, that really pisses me off. That, I understand that at that time you didn't see the benefits of trying to win gay marriage in Maryland, but you see it worthwhile to boycott Chick-Fil-A. And I mean, okay, fine. Yeah, personally, yeah, each person should be able to boycott. I do that. But to call for a national boycott and to encourage others to do so, we look like a bunch of losers. You make me look like a loser. And that's why anybody that's trying to advocate for this boycott is, encourage others to do so, have a national boycott. I mean, they're just pricks. I mean, they're people who just want attention. They don't know what's going on. 54% favor the law, while 40% oppose it. These findings by Hart Research Associates will be released later on today. The Times was given an advance look at them. And there you go. So Maryland looks like we have a shot there. Maine is looking good, supposedly. We're not sure about Minnesota. I think Minnesota is really, it's going to be so close. Maryland's going to be very close. I think all of these are going to be close, if you ask me. But Minnesota's going to be just hair-thin close. And that's going to be interesting to watch. Now, if we win all 4 of these states, now that's going to send shockwaves to people. That is something that I think is more interesting to me. This is has more substantial, more tangible solution, a more tangible thing to do than just to be out there and dressing up in a cow suit and yelling "moo." Come on, people. This is really, I mean, I'm just trying to look out for the average gay guy here, for the average guy. We little people, little gay guys, some of us, most of us do want to get married. Most of us do want to have some sort of stability in our lives. And we have the backing of the courts. We have the backing of the banks. In a way, you might say that might be bad, the way that we have banks and all that. And yes, I hate the banks. But they're here, and they're here to stay, just like gays are here to stay. I'm not comparing the two, but that's the reality of facts right there. Anyway, I just want to bring that up. So we have Maryland, Maine, Minnesota, and Washington State that we have to look at. All right. Okay. Anyway, we'll be right back with some more news. Stay tuned. And we're going to see what's up next. I have some more news here. I want to go over some of this. So we're going to take a short break. This is the Jose Soto Show, and you're listening to Jose Soto. Alright, now let's talk about Frank Kameny. Oh, we all remember Frank. Good old Frank. He's the one that coined the gay is good phrase. Well, he passed away, I think it was a few months ago. It was in November, I think he passed away, if I recall. It's been a while. Just to let you know, he's not buried yet. Well, he's been cremated, and his ashes are just laying around in a storage bin. And the estate is in this dispute with this gay organization who has paid for the plot of land to be the final resting place for Mr. Kameny. I mean, it's just pathetic. I mean, let the man rest in peace, for crying out loud, and solve your differences. Nearly 10 months after nationally acclaimed gay rights leader Frank Kameny died in Washington home at the age of 86, an urn bearing his ashes continues to sit on a shelf in a storage vault in the headquarters building of D.C. Historic Congressional Cemetery. Cemetery officials said a dispute between Kameny's estate in the DC gay charitable group helping our brothers and sisters, Hobbs, over ownership rights to the plot. Now, who cares who has ownership rights? God. I mean, the man is dead. Just let him rest in peace. Put him somewhere. It doesn't matter who does it, Hobbs or the estate, and maybe you should let the estate do it. Why is this gay organization getting involved anyway? Let the estate handle this. And you can suggest to the estate, hey, we want to have like a little memorial thing where people or a flame or something that people can look at. Right? I don't know. That's totally weird. 10 months. Still haven't been able to bury the guy. I mean, this is ridiculous. And it happens in the gay community. Why not? And I've seen this happen in my family too, where they fight over who owns the body. I mean, who owns the body? Nobody owns the body. Alright? God owns the body. If you want to say that. How about this? We finally win a medal at the Olympics. Well, not we, but this lesbian did. German cyclist Judith Arndt becomes first out lesbian to medal at London Olympics. Oh, good for you. German cyclist Judith Arndt became the first out lesbian to medal at the 2012 Olympic Games in London when she won a silver medal in the time trials. American Kristen Armstrong won the gold medal in the event, and Olga Zabelenskaya of Russia won the bronze. Quote, I'm really happy with the silver medal. Of course, my goal was to win gold, but if you would have asked me yesterday, I would have named Kristen Armstrong as favorite for today. So I'm not surprised. Earlier this week, Arndt finished 37th out of 40 in the women's road race. Regarding that placement, she told Cycling News, I put my focus on every race. Well, whatever. Congratulations, Miss Arndt, I'm sorry. Confused with somebody else. But that's the first medal that a gay has won. There you go. Oh, is that brainwashing, Mr. Alex Jones? People always take everything the wrong way. Whenever a gay person succeeds, that means that it is something that that's code word for, I don't know, gay agenda coming in, taking over our children, raping our kids, and destroying my marriage. So, I'm just sick and tired of this people like taking apart everything that gay people are trying to do that's good, right? Monogamy is good. Being responsible is good. This is what marriage is all about. And yet people are saying, oh, God, Lee, can't redefine marriage. You don't want to do that. But like I said earlier, it's not about redefining marriage. The courts do that all the time. That's where you go get married. Is at a court. The courts control marriage. This whole idea that, we vote on... never in the history of our country have we ever voted on the definition of marriage. Never. Ever. And people are saying, we shouldn't vote on minority rights. That's not really the point. The point is we never voted on marriage, period. Never. Because if you're placing the definition of marriage on popular vote, what's stopping it from going the other way? Just a few years, right? All I have to do is convince 51% of the public to vote in your favor, and you won. But the thing is, even today, when we say, we can't, the definition of marriage, the people who are against gay marriage are saying, it's God's law. If it's God's law, if it's nature's law, That's what many Catholics are saying. The Vatican operatives who hate gay marriage, they're saying this is a whole nature thing because they worship nature. They're saying it's about nature, and if it's nature, then why should we put it up to a vote? It's like saying, which way is down? Put it up to a vote. What color do you want the sky? Blue, yellow, red, green? Put up to a vote. Right? If it's so nature, if it's so God's law, then don't put it up to a vote. Why should you put it up to a vote? Why should man define what God's law is? I don't get that. Well, that's because they're trying to say that God makes the laws here, which is all bogus. No, man make the law. We make the laws. We are a constitutional republic, and we don't need to make that many laws either. Just laws to protect the rights of people, to protect the structure of our society. That's all. We're not talking about, stopping gay marriage and all that. So, anyway, just wanted to give you that side of the issue. Well, we come to the end of the show. I'll see you next time. This is Jose Soto. You're listening to the Jose Soto Show. I want you all to take care of yourselves. Hopefully Chick-Fil-A had a good run-in. And they did. Made lots of money. Thanks to Captain Chick-Fil-A, Mike Huckabee, and the other freaks. So, anyway, I'll see you next time. This is Jose Soto signing out. Good night.